Thank you, Madam Deputy President. It is critical that strong democracies like ours support the right of democracies around the world to defend themselves against terrorist acts on their citizens. The senseless loss of life caused by the unprovoked attacks of Hamas militants is not only tragic, it is evil. My friends have been hiding in bomb shelters, constructed in homes across Israel, with the knowledge that the terrorist groups that exist on their borders care nothing for human life in pursuit of their aims. Others are being called to military service. Because Hamas are a terrorist organisation with a charter that denounces all attempts at reconciliation between Israelis and Palestinians. It is an organisation that considers all means and methods as legitimate to achieve its unequivocal aims, namely the extermination of the State of Israel. Last Saturday's attacks by Hamas resulted in the worst loss of Jewish life in a single day since the Holocaust. It is a shocking indictment on the people who choose to excuse, justify, or at the very basis level celebrate the actions of this group against Jews in Israel. The instinct of Israelis to defend rather than attack wherever possible, with the development of the Iron Dome after a 2006 conflict with Hezbollah, is to be commended. But not all rockets can be stopped. Thousands have been fired at civilian populations in Israel in the last week, and Hamas militants infiltrated Israeli towns, massacring, raping, torturing, and kidnapping innocent people. The rockets continue, though the borders are now secure. My thoughts are with all victims and their loved ones. I've seen and heard the stories from my friends in Israel who have moved their families with young children away from border towns, both north and south, from Lebanon to the Gaza Strip, in the hope that it will keep them alive. They are trying to shield their young ones from social media and the news showing the violent atrocities that are occurring, in the hope their trauma will be lessened. I've been told that some of my friends who have done this are working in Jerusalem now with people who have been evacuated from Gaza, and they're running art projects for these children to try to lessen that trauma, because they know how destructive and damaging these events can be for young people throughout their lives. Last week, we heard an Australian-born Israeli grandmother, Galit Carboni, had been murdered. It is just one story amongst thousands. I've had the privilege of visiting Israel a number of times and have seen the border towns like Sderot, now devastated by unimaginable acts of terror. Bomb shelters are required by law to be built in all homes and commercial buildings in Israel. And in Sderot, they're actually funded by the government because the Iron Dome doesn't work in those areas. It is so close that they have just 15 seconds to shelter from these bombs before those rockets land. Israel is a remarkable country. It hosts one of the world's biggest pride festivals each year. It is a bastion of technological innovation. It is a lone democracy in the Middle East, with Arab and Muslim members elected in the Knesset, which means assembly in Hebrew. The Knesset is Israel's parliament. These Arab and Muslim representatives sit alongside Jews, Christians, and atheists. And it counts hundreds of thousands of Palestinians as students and workers in Israel. There are an estimated 100 to 200,000 Palestinian people with Israeli work visas. These peaceful people enjoy the fruits of Israel's liberation and its liberalisation and its economic success, from training to become doctors in Israeli hospitals to being treated in them. They are working side by side with Israelis every day. But normalising relations between peaceful Palestinians and Israelis does not suit the barbaric aims of Hamas, let alone relations between Saudi Arabia and Israel. And those peace talks that are happening at the moment are designed to bring further stability and peace to the region. But Hamas, an extremist and radical group, will never stop pursuing the total annihilation of Israel. Hamas would rather put the lives of their fellow Palestinians at mortal peril than see a two-state solution in the Middle East. Just this morning, a news report was run of an Australian woman holidaying in Gaza with her family, visiting her in-laws since August. She said that before Hamas's attacks, they were honestly having the best time. And then Hamas began their attacks. Let's not forget that Hamas has its ideological roots in a 1988 charter that looks forward to a judgment day when the trees and stones will say, "There is a Jew behind me, come and kill him." Let's not forget that no election has been called in Gaza since 2007. I condemn in the strongest terms the actions of Hamas and stand in solidarity with Israel and her people.